All right, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to your favorite beverage of the day and some questions and answers. Out at the club, we were taking a look at these gardening carts. I'm going to show you one by Harbor Freight and another one that I considered buying. Well, I did buy, but out at the club, they do own one of these, and several people out there had them. A couple of people took them back, as naturally all the complaints and whatever the problems were. So out there, they have like a small loading dock where they get FedEx, UPS, whatever. And it's concrete, like walkway or flooring. And so they use the one from Harbor Freight, and it works okay. To me, I think it's okay, or it seems to be okay for light duty kind of stuff. Now, one of the first questions became, can it really hold 1,200 pounds? No, I, I wouldn't even try. I mean, to be honest with you, 1,200 pounds. There's just no way it can do it. So like as a garden cart, like if you're outside and you're going over rough terrain, you're doing all this. I don't know if it's really the cart that you would want to buy. Now, I donate some of my time to a veterinarian for animal rescue anyway. And I was talking to him, and he wanted to buy 3 carts. He's got a big property, and they use it to haul grain and hay and this and that and the other because they got horses and they got other animals. And he wanted to get a few of these so that the workers could easily move some of this stuff around. And he said, "Hey, well, what do you think?" He goes, "It's kind of a cost savings." He goes, "They're $175." And I said, "Well, let me look into it. Let me let you know." And so I talked to the people out at the club, and they said, "Well, look, the steering on the front of these carts from Harbor Freight, when you go to move it around, it's really not all that good. And the metal or whatever it's made out of is super, super thin, and you can damage it real easily. So, again, maybe for lighter kind of work. So I thought, well, okay, let me see what other complaints there were. And so, like when you read through, it says, take a look at the welds. The welds are incredibly poor. Some of them are actually cracked or out of alignment, or they didn't even follow the seam on the weld. Well, the one they had out the club, the welds they're okay. So I didn't think much of that at first, and I thought, well, maybe it is made out of fairly thin material. And I'm sitting here looking at it right now while I got it on the screen and we're talking. And they were saying the sides on this, it's got that mesh screen or whatever. Those are also poorly made. They break and they fall apart and bend easily. And I thought, when I went over and felt it, and I thought, well, yeah, it's pretty lightweight. The wheelbase is kind of narrow on it, and I thought, well, look, for real light duty stuff, it might be okay, but for out at the rescue and whatever, this is probably not going to be that great of a deal. Let me just put it like that. They said the cotter pins are real, thin and flimsy, and the biggest issue are the tires, that the tires go bad quickly. So it's not a matter of if you're going to have to replace them, it's a matter of when. And, I started to take all those things, into account. I'll leave you, yeah, you can get replacement tires out at Harbor Freight, and I'll give you the codes. I pulled these off of the web or somewhere else, and they are an exact fit. So if you do have to replace like 2 of them or 4 of them, you can. And they run about 25 bucks each. Now, I'm not throwing tax on top of this. I'm just using the rounded numbers. The cart's 175, the wheels are 25. So I started playing around with some of the math on this, and then I thought, well, they had a cart out at the vet's office. It's a much older cart, and it's made by Gorilla. Okay, let me see what Gorilla carts sell for, because obviously they are much better steel. They're a lot stronger. They're very durable, and it's like, well, it's going to cost you more. Well, okay, let's see. So I went on to the site and I took a look, and it's $195. Okay, but it comes with flat free tires. It says it right here, they're flat free. And the tires, I talked to the handyman kind of guy, that's out at the rescue, and he said he's never replaced the tires on his Gorilla cart, and he's had it for years. Now, whether or not those were flat free at the time, I don't know, but they're still there, and he's never had to replace them. So these are flat free tires. The Harbor Freight ones are not. So if you said, well, let's do the math on this. If I have $175 and not including tax, I have to spend another 100 to replace all 4 tires. Well, that's $275. And then somebody out of the club said, well, you might not have to replace all 4 of them. And okay, let's say you got to replace 2 of them. Now I'm at $225. And it still has all these other issues that everybody has complained about. And on the Harbor Freight side, it says, compare it to the Gorilla cart, and it gives you a number, and their cost was $214.78. Well, I'm going to compare it to the Gorilla cart here, and this one right here is $195. Okay, now I would rather go, and this is an 800-pound. This is 12, but there's no way this thing can hold 12. It can't even hold 800. I doubt that it would even stand up very long to 400 or 500. Over here, I believe this one is a much better made cart, much better made materials, all that great stuff, flat free tires. And so there's your cost difference. So you pay $195 for getting tax, or you could turn around, you can buy this one. And if you have to replace all 4, like I said, it's $275. Or if you only replace 2 tires over time, it's still $225. So this is still the better deal, the Gorilla, because of the manufacture and the construction of it. And you can read through all of the reviews and stuff on here, and I think hands down, this is just the better way to go. Now, if you already own one of these, and I mean, you're doing light duty work from Harbor Freight, I mean, I think that that's fine. But don't believe the 1,200-pound capacity. There's just no way. Okay, so those are my thoughts on this. I would tell you, dig into it yourself a little bit deeper, but I think when you do the math on this, it's not a matter of if you're going to have to replace these tires, it's a matter of when. Are you going to have to replace them in a short period of time, a little bit longer, but you will end up having to replace them. They're very poor quality. So those are my thoughts on this. Like I said, for out at the club, like I said, they have one for very light work and just shuttling stuff, you know, from the delivery deck or whatever down this concrete pathway into the shop. It works fine, okay, but they're not out in any kind of rough terrain or whatever. But so, like I said, light duty maybe. Those are my thoughts, folks. I'm the Home Handyman. I hope you click subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. Drop me a comment if you want to. All links are below on this stuff, and I think on this one, I believe there might be a discount right now, but the initial price, like I said, is $195.21. All right, folks, I'll see you on the next video. You have a great day. Bye-bye.